Ecuador, Ghana, Indonesia, the Philippines. These are some major producers of chocolate in the world. Yet this piece of chocolate is made completely in Singapore, from bean to bar. This is Janice Wong, a Singaporean chocolatier on a mission to plant 1,000 cacao trees in the Lion City. But in land-scarce Singapore, how do you achieve that?
When we first started planting in 2021, I called a number of schools, ambassadors as well. Now the Belgium ambassador's home has 14 trees. We went to Conchita and there were about 14 trees there. So far we have planted more than 500 cocoa trees all around Singapore.
Singapore's first single-origin chocolate bar is a labor of love. Cacao trees take about 3 years to grow, and it takes 4 to 5 months from it flowering to produce cacao pods, depending on soil and weather conditions.
It's not the easiest tree to maintain, so it really does need a lot of care. Also the knowledge of processing cocoa.
To make chocolate, harvested cacao beans have to be fermented and roasted, then winnowed, a process where nibs are separated from the husk. Then comes conching, where the nibs are ground into a buttery paste. Finally, the chocolate is tempered for a smooth and glossy finish. And all this is done in-house at Janice's 2 a.m. dessert bar outlet in Holland Village. So how does Singapore-grown chocolate compare to imported ones?
Here I have 3 varieties of chocolate: Indonesia, Philippines, and Singapore single origin bar.
This is quite fruity. You do get those fruity notes coming through, a bit of the bitterness. It's quite a fragrant bite. It is a bit tart, it's a bit fruity, but there's this a nuttiness to it that I think wasn't as prominent in the Indonesian bar. Okay, moment of truth, Singapore bar. So it's not as chocolatey, I think, as the chocolates we normally eat. So the fruitiness, which I already thought I tasted in the other chocolates, comes out a lot more strongly in this bar. It's what you would expect from tea, not so much from chocolate in terms of taste. But I think it could pair well with, like, let's say dried fruits or maybe nuts or something to sort of balance out that sourness and the acidity. So I've got this additional plate of chocolate. So this is made from the first beans that were harvested in Singapore. It was fermented differently from this one. So this was fermented under less humid conditions, and apparently that affects the taste quite drastically. I think I prefer this one. You can get a taste of cinnamon in it. It's earthier, whereas this one's a bit citrusy, a bit too sour for my taste. On the whole, I guess because I'm someone who gravitates towards nuttier chocolates, I think I still prefer the Indonesian or the Filipino chocolates as compared to the Singapore one. And it's interesting that even within the range of Singapore-grown chocolates, you have such great variety, depending on the fermentation process. And I'm really excited to see what kinds of chocolates we'll be able to look forward to in the future.